Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ellie Snake Lady and today I'm going to be doing a weighing health check with all my snakes. So I'm just going to be showing you a video of all that and just basically how they're all getting on health wise. So yeah, without any further ado, I shall just get straight on with that, and thanks very much for watching. Okay, so let's start with Caduceus. And oh, it's very cold today, so but yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh him, and then afterwards I'll just let you know how much he weighs and whether he's lost or gained any since 3 months ago. So I shall just get straight on with that. Caduceus is reading 515 grams and he's just in there. There we go. Thinking, mummy, what are you doing? But yeah, so he's 515 grams, and I'll compare that to 3 months ago. I think that was the last time I weighed them. So yeah, I'll compare that to 3 months ago. 3 months ago, Caduceus weighed 495 grams. He now weighs 515 grams. So he's actually gained 20 grams in weight, which is fine. To be 515 grams, to me, I think that's the perfect weight for a snake. Anything, I would say 450 up to 600 or 700 grams. It just depends, because my snakes did used to weigh in the 600s and people were like, oh, they look a bit pudgy. So I reduced the amount of food that I was giving them down from large mice to medium, and I do that. I feed them every 2 weeks, and everyone's like, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So since I've been doing that over the past 3 years or so, I've been able to keep their weight quite steady between the 400 and 500 gram mark. And they seem to be doing really well, and you know, he's really healthy, and I can see, like yesterday I was looking at him and I thought his eyes look like little rubies, but he's been shedding really well, and breeding season hasn't affected him too much, so his weight's pretty good. But yeah, it was in his favourite place, his little sort of rock hide with the hole in the top. So yeah, so he's doing really good. I'm just checking him over and making sure there's like nothing untoward on him. There's no mites or anything like that, or any stuck shed. So that's really good. But yeah, so that is little Caduceus for you. And yeah, he's looking good. So now I have Mr. Asclepion with me, so I'm just going to put him in the weighing scales and just sort of see where he's at the moment. He's been a bit goofy at the minute, but yeah, so I'll just put him in and see how he's getting on. Asclepion is weighing in at 480 grams. Well, it said 481, so I've just put 481. Oh yeah, there we go. But yeah, so that's not too bad. That's quite a good weight for him. What are you doing, little boy? Thinking, trying to get out. So yeah, so Asclepion's doing pretty good. He's just in there wondering what to do, but yeah, so anyway, I'll compare his weight from 3 months ago to now. So Asclepion weighed 469 grams 3 months ago. Now he weighs 481. He's still very active and, you know, moving about a lot. You know, I've checked him over, like I check his body for lumps and bumps like I do with all of them, and he's fine. like no mites or anything like that. There's nothing sort of going on with him. He's just very active. I was just thinking 481 grams, as say that's a good weight for a corn snake, and he is a male. They always tend to be sort of, they can be slightly smaller than the females, but they are similar in length and weight, but it just depends on the snake. They're like people, so they all vary. So yet again, he gets fed every 2 weeks. Yeah, no, he's doing really good, and yeah, he's crazy as ever. So yeah, there we go, that's the Sclapion. Moving on to my corn snake girls. So I've got Apollonia here, and yeah, so I'm going to weigh her and see where she's up to, because as some of you know, she laid eggs back in sort of June, July time. I think it was June actually. And yeah, so her weight's going to have been a bit up and down this year, what with that. So yeah, so without any further ado, I should just get on and weigh her. Apollonia is weighing in at 479 grams, and there she is, my little bean. You're such a good girl, aren't you? Yeah, she's doing pretty good as well. So yeah, again, I'll compare from 3 months ago to now, and see how she's doing. So looking at Apollonia's weight, before she was 460 grams in weight. Now she weighs 479, yeah, 479 grams. So she has gained weight. She's gained 19 grams. I'm thinking the reason why she lost weight earlier this year is just because when I weighed her at the very beginning, she was obviously of a certain weight. I can't remember what it was now. And then once she'd laid all her eggs, she'd lost about 100 odd grams. And that will be all the eggs that are inside her, because I think she had about 21 eggs. So she did lose weight, so that's understandable. I've managed to build her back up. Sorry, she's tying me in knots. I managed to build her back up with large mice every 2 weeks, so she's sort of been having those. She's back on the mediums now, and she's just doing really well. She's shedding great. She's got no stuck shed. You know, they're all pooping fine as far as I know, all my corn snakes. So, and yeah, so I'm just, as I say, I just normally check her tummy just to make sure there's nothing on it, and check her vent, which is very difficult to see because she's curling round me. There we go. So yeah, so that's the vent there, which is all clear. Tail tip is fine. That's one thing I forgot to mention with the boys, is the whole tail tip thing, making sure that when they shed their skin, that comes off. And of course, I just check her head and her eyes and everything, and just make sure that she's that she's looking all right. Her eyes are clear and everything. There's nothing around her mouth. That's the other thing to check for, is RI, respiratory infection. So normally when they get a respiratory infection, it will be you'll hear popping and wheezing sounds, and they'll be opening their mouth and that, just to get more sort of breath in, as it were, because their mouths do get very congested with mucus and things. So so yeah, so I'm, you know, just check for all that sort of stuff. And you know, none of mine are making those noises at the moment. But if you do hear that sort of weird little whistling sound that corn snakes make from time to time, it could just be that they're due to shed their skin. So that's the other side of it. So if you hear odd little whistling noises, you know, just check to see, you know, they might be going into blue, they might be due to shed their skin, you know, they might have come out of blue. And yeah, and as I say, due to shed their skin. So she's looking for a place to hide. So with corn snakes, with my corn snakes, I check for all those things. I know it kind of seems like a bit of a list of things to check for, but you just want to make sure that your snake's healthy at the end of the day, and you know, they're eating and drinking right and all the rest of it. So with her, since she's laid her egg, she's put on weight, and you know, I'll just continue feeding her as normal. She gets her food every time. So yeah, she's crazy. So yeah, so that's little Apollonia for you. There, she's doing good, and I'm really pleased with her as well. So there we go. Now I have little Athene with me. She was trying to hide and run away from me, but I managed to get her. So anyway, yeah, so she's doing pretty good at the minute, but I will just get her on the scales and just compare her to last time I weighed her. So yeah, without any further ado, I shall just get straight on with that. This says Athene's weighing at 559 or 560, but when I did actually weigh her a second ago, it was 558, so I've just left it at that for now, but you get a general sort of gist. Actually, I might change that to 60. Yeah, I will, because it's staying at 560, so I'll change that back to... try and make this clear if I can. Yeah, 560. So yeah, I mean, it's gone back to 559, but she's moving about a bit, but it's just a general gist as to what she weighs. And there she is, looking all pretty and lovely, aren't you, my beautiful girl? So yeah, she's doing pretty good, and I'll be comparing her weight from 3 months ago. I nearly said years then. Yes, 3 months ago. So yeah, I'll be comparing those. So Athene was 589 grams 3 months ago. She's now 560. So I think she's lost 29 grams in weight, which isn't too bad. As I say, the average weight for a snake is between the 400-500 mark, 600 I would say maximum. I wouldn't want my corn snakes weighing any more than that. So yeah, so the fact that she's lost some weight is fine. You know, she's got some reserves, and even though I believe that Athene is female, she's never laid eggs, and she is a little bit older than Apollonia, but you know, some people have been like, oh, maybe she's male, and I just think no, because she never reacts to breeding season whatsoever. She's not glass surfing, she's, you know, not always up at the window, nothing like that. She's just asleep through that time, and if I get her out, she'll mill about, and then I put her back and she goes back into her little hide and all the rest of it. So as far as I know, Athene is a girl, but either way, I'm not going to breed her, so it, you know, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I've just sort of looked at her eyes. I don't know if she's turning away, little bugger. Yeah, so I've checked her eyes and they're all clear. She's tongue flicking, which is great with snakes. That's what you want. It means they're bright and alert, and that's a sign of good health. Scales are all fine. She seems to have shed her skin really well. Checking the tail tip again, which is fine. Let's see, the vent there is clear, so that's all good. Her eyes are clear. Hello. Yeah, no popping, wheezing sounds, nothing like that. So she's doing really well, and as I say, the fact that she's lost a bit of weight is fine. That's not a problem. She was heading to the 600 gram mark anyway, so as I say, she's lost a bit, it's fine, not a problem. So yeah, so she's doing really good, pooping and shedding fine and everything. So yeah, I'm really pleased with her. So, and she's got a strong grip, I'm gonna say that much for her. So so yeah, so that's Athene for you. Right, so now I have little Artemis here with me, and she is a squiggle pot. So I'm just going to put her on the weighing scales and see how she's getting on. But as you know, she's the baby of all my corn snakes. Well, she's the baby of the whole family. So yeah, so I should just get straight on and weigh her. So this keeps hopping between 59 and 60 grams, but I'm just trying to see, because she's just going along the top at the moment and trying to find a way out. But I've put it at 59 for now, but 59, 60 grams for her is pretty good. But yeah, she's not happy about being in there, but she'll get used to Mummy's crazy ways soon. What are you doing, little bean? So yeah, I'll be doing comparisons to 3 months ago, and we'll see how much weight she's actually gained, because as you know, she is the baby of the family. She's the baby corn. So yeah, there we go. That's Artemis. She's settled on my shoulder a bit now, but so when I last weighed Artemis, she weighed 27 grams. Let me just check. Oh, come on. Yeah, she weighed 27 grams. Now she weighs 59, so she's actually gained weight, which is normal and typical because she is the youngest and she is, you know, the baby of the family. So and yeah, so she's gained 32 grams, which is great. She's getting bigger. I've moved her from fuzzy mice up to hopper mice, which is taking like a champ. At first I thought, oh gosh, I don't know, these too big for her, but past like 2 or 3 weeks she's been sort of taking them really well. So yeah, she's doing good. And yet again, she's very active and tongue flicking and investigating everything, and you know, so I'm just checking her tummy. There we go, you can see a bit of it there. She is quite squiggly. Just checking her eyes are okay. Her tail's fine. She's managed to get all the shed skin off of her tail as well, and off her head and stuff, so she's doing really great. She's pooping great. She's just like really active. She's like a Sclapian actually. So but she's got these gorgeous tessera patterns and stuff. I absolutely love them. She's absolutely stunning. She's such a good girl as well. She's been such a good girl, and I just love her to bits. She's so cute. But yeah. Yeah, so that's Artemis for you. She's doing really good, and I'm just really pleased with the way things are going with her. So yeah, that's great. Oh, I'll get her to look at the camera. Nope, she's not having any of it, so there we go. So now I have little Australia with me, or rather big Australia. She is a big girl now. So yeah, I'm thinking she's definitely put on weight. She feels that bit bigger and heavier as well. So yeah, there we go. Right, I'm going to get her on the scales, and we'll see where she's at. So this keeps hovering between 418 and 419. I've put 419 on there. So yep, so that's Australia there. Are you flashing your bum? Yep, she's doing really good. She's put on, well, I definitely know that she has put on weight. Because I kind of weighed her a few months ago and thought, oh, she does need feeding up. So I've been giving her the sort of bigger mice and whatnot, and she's yeah, she's doing really good at 419 grams. So yeah, so that's Australia, and again I'll compare from 3 months ago. So yeah, I'll put that all up on the screen. So yeah, that's that little girl for you. There you go, having a little mooch. But yeah, that's Australia for you. So last time Australia weighed 351 grams. Now she weighs 419 grams. So she has put on some weight. I think it's 68 grams. Yeah, 68 grams in weight. That's what she's put on. So that's great. I wanted her to sort of be a bit, you know, sort of more built up, because she was sort of barely scraping in 3 grams earlier this year. So yeah, she's put on a fair bit more weight, which is good. And yeah, I'm really pleased. She's such a friendly girl. I know sometimes people think that these Mexican black king snakes look a bit like scary, but she's so chilled out now, and as I say, she's active all the time, tongue flicking. She sheds her skin perfectly. In fact, she shed her skin the other day. I didn't even realize she was in blue and had shed her skin or anything, but the humidity in that was probably, you know, the perfect point, because it was a perfect shed. I wish I had it here. I don't know where. I think I put it away in my drawer. I've got a drawer full of snake skins, shed snake skins. But yeah, it was perfect. So there is like nothing on her, as you can see. She's like really shiny, and yeah, she's such a beautiful girl. I love her to bits. So yeah, again, I do the usuals, what I do with my corn snakes, check the vents. Her vent is fine, as you can see. It's that orangey patch. And yeah, her head and everything's fine, so I'm sure you've seen that before. And her tummy and that, it's just, everything's perfect. So she's pooping and eating, you know, and everything. She's, you know, doing all that really well. So yeah, so that's little Australia for you. Such a good girl, aren't you? Knotting herself up into a pretzel. So now I have little Zephyrus with me, who is all nice and warm. He's trying to hide from me, but he's been in one of his like tunnel hides on the heat mat, so he is really lovely and warm. So yeah, so anyway, I will get on and weigh him, and we'll see where he's at. So Zephyrus is actually at 93 grams. It's just gone down to 92, but it's been staying on 93. So I've got that on there. Yeah, look, there we go. And so there's little Zephyrino. He's actually started eating off the tongs again, which is great. And he's back onto hopper mice. So that's brilliant. I'm so pleased with him. And as I say, he's not a bad weight as well, so yeah, he's doing pretty good, and he hasn't hissed at me yet, so fantastic. That's little Zephyrus for you. Zephyrus was at 84 grams and he's now at 93, so that means he's gained let's have a look. Sorry, my maths is awful. He's gained 9 grams, which is really good, because as I said a couple of weeks ago, he did go off his food. Well, actually it was about a month ago now. He had done like a sort of, he'd gone through a 7-week fasting, you know, just not eating or anything, so, or hunger strike as we like to call it. But he is actually back eating. It's so strange, because I thought, as I said before, with snake discovery, when the lady said about putting him into a bowl, you know, with his food so he'd no distractions, he was eating a fuzzy in the bowl every time. After that, you know, the first time I tried it, it worked. Second try, you know, it worked. And then the week before last, I gave him a fuzzy and he took that off the tongs, and then I gave him another one, took that off the tongs, and now he's back on hopper mice, and he's taken those off the tongs. And I was just like, this is so great, I'm so pleased. I thought I'd have to change his setup and everything, so I thought that was the problem, but I think it was literally just hog-nose breeding season. I think that's what he was going through, because as soon as it hit September, he started eating again. So yeah, so he's doing really well. I've been like checking his little eyes. and his tail and his vent and everything, checking his body, there's no lumps or bumps. You know, he hasn't got an RI, there's no popping or wheezing sounds or anything like that, so he's doing really, really good. He hisses, which is normal for hoggies, and he, you know, other days he doesn't hiss, so it just depends if he's in a good mood or not. But yeah, so he's doing really good. I'm glad he's put that weight on, and yeah, so I'm just going to carry on giving him hoppers every week and see where we get to in a few months' time. So yeah, so that's little Zephyrus for you. So as you can see, I have little Aristaeus with me. So yeah, he's looking good. He's all nice and warm as well. He's been on his heat mat, so just chilling out and stuff. But yeah, so I shall just get on and weigh him and see where we're at. So Aristaeus is at 91 grams at the moment, which is good. So he's very nearly the same weight as Zephyrus, which is great. I thought so. I thought he'd put on some weight. He's been eating popper mice, and yeah, he's been doing really well. He's refused a couple of meals off me over the past 2 weeks, but that could just be because light levels are low, it's getting cold, etc, etc. So but he's a good weight, so I'm really not worried. But yeah, he's doing really, really good. So he's fantastic and got a great nature. So there we go. So Aristaeus was 65 grams before. Now he weighs 91 grams, so he has gained weight. Yeah, so he's gained 26 grams. And yeah, so him and Zephyrus are a similar weight. As I say, Zephyrus is 2 grams heavier than Aristaeus, but yeah, as I say, they're very similar in weight now, and I just feed him hopper mice every week, and you know, he's been eating them really, really well up until last week. So last week he refused the meal, and I thought maybe it's because the light levels have got low and everything, and it's a little bit cooler now. I don't quite know. He could be due to shed his skin. He's not shed his skin for a while, so that could be the case, but he's only refused 2 meals. And the fact that he is, like, I think he's about 1.5 years old now, so you know, he's the weight that he is, and he's been eating like a champ the rest of the time, so I'm really not worried, you know, if he goes off his food for a bit. But he does shed his skin perfectly, he poops perfectly, he's been eating like a champ in the past. You know, it's just these past 2 weeks he's not. But you know, I'm just checking his tail tip and his eyes, and you know, his vent and everything, so you can see his vent there, sort of that bit there. And yeah, so he's doing really good, and he's still friendly as ever. So sometimes he has his hissy moments, which is hoggies for you, but he's generally, you know, he's doing all right. So and he's quite a friendly boy. He's out and about, up at the window and stuff, and just seeing what's going on and one thing and another. Sorry about my throat. I think I'm getting a bit of a, I don't know, something's going on with my throat, a froggy throat. But yeah, so he's doing great, and he's friendly as ever. He's seems to be quite healthy and stuff, and so yeah, the fact that he's gained weight, the fact that my 2 hoggies and Artemis have gained weight, they're, out of all my snakes, they are the most important ones to put on weight, and possibly Apollonia because of her eggs, you know, with laying eggs and losing weight because of that and one thing and another. But as long as my babies are putting on weight and they're healthy and that, then that's great, you know. I mean, I want all my babies to be healthy. So that's little Aristaeus for you. So yeah, so that's all my snakes checked over, you know, sort of physically, and obviously with the weighing and one thing and another. So they all seem to be doing really well. And at the end of the day, whether your snakes gain weight or lose weight, it's going to happen over the year, because with the males they can stop eating for breeding season, so they lose a bit, but once breeding season's over, you can get their weight back up. And the same with the girls, when they start laying eggs, they will lose a significant amount of weight, but you just got to build them up yet again, you know, over the months after that. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, is just when I know they've lost a bit of weight, I've fed them, you know, just that little bit more to build them up. So as I say, between 450 to 600 grams in weight for a corn snake, for an adult corn snake, is good. And obviously when they're babies they're going to be lighter than that, but yeah, so Australia's at a good weight now for a king snake as well, so I'm really pleased with her. And with my two hoggy boys, even though there's like a 2-year age difference between them, the fact that they're a very similar weight, you know, I think that's fine, as long as they keep to that sort of weight, you know, then I'll know they're healthy, and I will, you know, endeavour to get them to eat whenever I can. So but for now they're doing really good. And yeah, so I'm hoping that, you know, you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, then please like and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, please hit that bell notification and click all, so you get notifications of all my latest videos. And if you've got any comments or questions or anything like that, then just pop them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer. But for now, from myself and all my snaky babies, it is goodbye, and we'll see you in my next video. Thanks very much for watching.